Do you ever feel like your teenager is speaking a different language? Like every attempt to understand what's really going on in their world is met with an eye roll or a one-word answer? You're not alone. But here's something that might surprise you. The key to understanding your teenager isn't about asking better questions or giving better advice. It's about creating the right moments that naturally invite your teen to open up and share. I'm Andy Earl. After years as a psychology researcher studying adolescent behavior, I now host the Talking to Teens podcast, where I interview leading experts every week about the art and science of communicating with teens. Today, we're going to explore a counterintuitive but powerful approach to connecting with your teen that actually works. Here's the thing about teenagers. The harder you try to understand them, the more they tend to close up. It's like trying to catch a butterfly. Chase it directly and it flies away, but create the right environment and it might just land right next to you. Think about your own teenage years. When did you really open up to adults in your life? Probably not during formal let's talk sessions. More likely it was during unexpected moments, a late night conversation in the kitchen, a long car ride, or a shared experience that somehow felt different from the usual parent-teen dynamic. That's because genuine understanding doesn't come from interrogation. It comes from creating moments of authentic connection. And surprisingly, one of the most effective ways to create these moments is through sharing something we usually try to avoid: tension. During the teenage years, the brain is literally wired to seek out novelty and challenge. It's why teens are drawn to new experiences, complex ideas, and yes, even a bit of controversy. When we understand this, we can use it to our advantage. Research shows that the teenage brain is particularly active when encountering information that challenges their existing beliefs or creates cognitive dissonance. In other words, teens are most engaged when they're mentally uncomfortable, not severely, but just enough to make them think. This isn't about creating conflict or stress. It's about introducing just enough tension to spark genuine curiosity and reflection. Because here's the truth. Understanding doesn't come from asking your teen to tell you what they think. It comes from creating moments where they actually want to figure out what they think. So how do you create these moments of productive tension? Let's say your teen makes a sweeping statement like, school is completely pointless. Your instinct might be to argue, no, it's not, or to probe. Why do you think that? Instead, try introducing a gentle paradox. I've been thinking a lot about that lately. How sometimes the things that seem most pointless end up being surprisingly valuable, and sometimes the things that seem most important turn out not to matter at all. Like, remember when you thought learning to read music was a waste of time, and now it's such a big part of who you are? Notice what we're doing here. Instead of directly challenging their statement, we're creating a space where they might naturally want to explore the complexity of their own thinking. We're not trying to prove them wrong. We're inviting them to think more deeply. One of the most powerful ways to create connection with your teen is to openly share your own uncertainties and questions, not in a way that dumps your problems on them, but in a way that shows you're also grappling with complex ideas. Try something like, I've been struggling with something lately. I'd love to hear your perspective. Do you think it's possible to disagree with someone and still respect them? Because I keep going back and forth on this. By sharing your own authentic questions and struggles, you're not just creating tension, you're creating trust. You're showing your teen that it's okay not to have all the answers, that wrestling with difficult questions is part of growth. Here's something counterintuitive. Sometimes the key to understanding your teenager is to say nothing at all. We often rush to fill silent moments with questions, advice, or conversation, but strategic silence can be one of your most powerful tools for creating breakthrough moments. When you ask a thought-provoking question or share a challenging observation, resist the urge to keep talking. Let the silence hang there. Yes, it might feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is exactly what makes it powerful. In that space of silence, your teen has the opportunity to actually process what's being discussed, to form their own thoughts, rather than just reacting to yours. Of course, silence isn't just about not talking, it's about being fully present. Think about the way you watch a sunset. You're not trying to make anything happen. You're just there to witness whatever unfolds. This is especially powerful during emotional moments. When your teen is upset or processing something difficult, our parental instinct is to jump in with solutions or reassurance. But often what they really need is someone who can sit with them in that difficult moment without trying to fix it. Sometimes the best way to understand your teenager is to approach difficult topics indirectly. Think of it like entering through the side door instead of marching through the front door. Instead of asking directly about their own life choices, try discussing similar situations in movies, books, or other people's lives. For example, if you're concerned about your teen's friend group, rather than interrogating them about their friends, you might share a story about friendship dynamics from your own teenage years. or discuss a similar situation from a TV show they like. This creates a safe space to explore complex ideas without feeling personally attacked or defensive. Ever notice how teens seem to open up late at night? There's something about those late hours that makes deep conversations feel more natural. While you can't always stay up until midnight, you can learn from what makes those moments special. Late night conversations work because they feel less formal, less forced. The pressure is off. You can recreate these conditions at other times by paying attention to moments when your teen seems more relaxed and receptive, maybe during car rides, while doing dishes together, or when working on a shared project. The key is to recognize and lean into these natural openings when they appear. Some of the most meaningful conversations happen when you're not trying to have a meaningful conversation. Here's a difficult truth. Sometimes, when we truly start to understand our teenagers, what we learn might be uncomfortable. They might be struggling with things we wish they weren't, questioning values we hold dear, or making choices we don't agree with. This is where many parents pull back. It's natural to want to jump in and fix things, to lecture, or to try to steer them in the right direction. But if you want to maintain that understanding, you need to resist this urge. Understanding doesn't always mean agreeing or approving. Sometimes it just means being willing to really hear them, even when it's hard. Understanding teenagers isn't about having perfect conversations or asking all the right questions. It's about creating moments where real connection can happen naturally. By learning to use tension skillfully, embrace silence, recognize natural openings, and stay present even when it's uncomfortable, you can build the kind of relationship where understanding flows naturally, one breakthrough moment at a time. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more science-backed strategies to communicate with your teen more effectively.